welcome to Breathe and Meditate with me and you. So I'm excited and also so grateful for having these Tuesdays with you and everyone who joined. So thank you so much for watching and sharing your energy and your love. It just honors me so much, especially to have guest speakers share their love too. Today we have a beautiful guest speaker, Ivana. She's going to share with us a mindful tip and about what she does in our local community. With that, let's go ahead and put our hands on our heart and practice gratitude because gratitude is so important in life. No matter what you're doing, invitation just to pause, stop in this fast-paced life and breathe and be grateful. Just close your eyes, become aware of your body, maybe feel the weight of your body on the chair or wherever you're sitting or laying. And then just take a nice deep breath in and a beautiful deep breath out. Maybe that was your first conscious breath all morning or all day, being grateful for your breath. And then let's practice gratitude. So, what are you grateful for? I know I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful for God. I'm grateful for all the beautiful things I have. What are you grateful for? And actually feel it, feel those emotions. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. I'm going to introduce Ivana. So, Ivana, take it over.
Candice, I'm so excited. I know it's early. This is early for me. So I'm excited though, because it gives me a chance to kind of like use my tools that I'm gonna share today too. Good morning, everybody. My name is Ivana Ayala-Esslinger. I work as an integrative mental health counselor and an Akashic channel. Today I want to share with you a little information. I know I have to go fast and I don't have a lot of time, but I speak fast and good thing it's recorded so everybody can go back and slow it down at their speed. Um, as a mental health counselor, one of the things when we talk about mental wellness or mental health, how we view our sleep and wake cycle is super important. And so, today I want us to kind of like be mindful of that. When we're looking at mental wellness or mental health, big indicators around how well we're doing are around sleep. Our sleep hygiene, how we feel when we wake up, how difficult it is to go to sleep. And so I want to introduce you to a morning self-love activation, and then a little bit of education and some tips, right, to improve your sleep hygiene. So I feel like those are all things that can be super supportive. So one thing that a friend of mine had recommended was talking pretty to ourselves, right? Especially when we wake up in the morning. And if we're one that wakes up anxious or someone who wakes up depressed, that can be difficult. And yet it's still a really simple tool. So I want you to kind of like pretend you're just waking up in the morning and your eyes are still closed. The alarm goes off and you're laying there. And I want you to have a conversation with yourself like you would your lover, your partner, your best friend, your child. Good morning, my love. Good morning, Ivana. Good morning, Candice. Good morning, Barbara. However you want to create this introduction. And I want you to ask yourself, how are you today? How did you sleep? How does your body feel? And if your responses are, I'm so tired. I feel amazing. I'm in pain today. I'm awake, but I don't know, I feel detached. And then you tell yourself, oh man, you know what? That's rough. That's beautiful. That's amazing. Oof. Sounds like today might be a little slower, right? And so let's listen to that. We're going to be a little slow today. We're going to feel maybe a little heavier today. Or you know what? Today's going to be like an amazing day. Because you know what? You're going to pay attention to what your body needs. You're going to pay attention to what feels good. And we're going to get through today. I love you. You're beautiful. You're strong. and keep telling yourself your strengths, the things that you've overcome, the stuff that kind of boosts you, right? You know the things you need to hear. And so you want to give yourself those positive affirmations. And it can be very quick, a minute, 30 seconds, right? None of this has to take long. Why? Because we all got to go first thing in the morning, right? There's this sense of like, I got to go, I got to go, I got to go. And so none of this needs to take very long, but it's a conscious effort, right? To attend to ourselves, even first thing in the morning when we get up. And so the next thing I would say is how when you kind of assess how you're feeling. So for someone who's a little bit more anxious, right? You want to do something to relieve that. A great breath activity is Nadi Shona, or alternate nostril breathing. I imagine someone's probably gone on here, and it's a really easy breath. You can find them on YouTube. You plug a nostril, you breathe in for 4 seconds, plug at the top, open up the alternate nostril, breathe out. Breathe in, plug at the top, alternate nostril, breathe out. So that's really a nice way for people who are anxious in the morning to kind of like soothe their nervous system enough and then get on with their day. If you wake up a little more depressive or down or sluggish, you want stimulation, right? So stimulation is kind of important in the morning. And that stimulation can be dry brushing, it can be jumping jacks, it can be like a squeezing or a tapping along the body, just to kind of like get the muscles going. And it can be shaking. So actually, we'll get into the next activity that I want to do, which is like, how do we incorporate like, maybe too much, maybe a long workout or a long activity it's just not going to work in the morning, or maybe there's physical things that kind of we have limitations. And so one of the wonderful things I like to do in the morning, and I'm actually going to stand up so that you can see me. I don't know, save my computer. Okay. And so one of the ones that's stimulating is shaking. So a lot of us, for those of us who physically can, in the morning, something that's stimulating is just shaking. And then we kind of start with our hands. We start with our arms. We start with our feet. Yeah, yeah, join me. And then we just like kind of like shake our whole body, right? And we do it at a pace that's good for us. So for some of us, especially if we have like a chronic illness or arthritis, like none of these activities, because again, mindfulness is a very conscious awareness and present with our body. And so we want to be mindful. So shaking might be a little too rough for some people. And so you kind of, again, we just want to shake it out. And so you kind of feel almost like when a dog like shakes after they've gotten wet, right? It's like a release of sorts. Yeah, they're like so excited, like whew, their whole body like releases, right? So it doesn't have to be long. So if you're someone who does have like chronic fatigue or chronic illness or pain. So, but mobility and movement is super important. You want to maybe start smaller. And so what I do with a lot of my clients initially, especially if they're just not ready to like shake, right? Because sometimes we're just not ready. I say actually start moving every joint. And so you would start with each finger and slowly make your way through the entire body, right? So again, this is at your pace. If you can do all the fingers, but if you can only do one finger at a time and you do it slowly, you do this. And the goal is to get every part of the body to move, right? And so for some of us who are more active, we'll find other things. But for those of us who like struggle in the morning, I'm not a big mover in the morning. Like after 10 o'clock are all my workouts. But I do need to stretch. I need to move. So we want to keep in mind our mobility. And so we might, again, move our toes slowly, right? And an easy one is for women, especially, we hold a lot of things in our hips. And so a lot of times it's just simply making little circles, right? Like little circles with our hips in the morning. And mine are already stiff and creaking and making all kinds of fun noises that I hope you guys can't hear. But sometimes this is really all we would need in the morning just to like start to stimulate the body to move. And none of this has to take very long. And then coming back around the other end and being aware. And this is what I tend to pay attention to even more. How does this feel? And from a not just a physical perspective, because we do want to pay attention to that, but emotionally. How does it feel to move? How does it feel in the morning when you hear the crack or you feel the pain? Are there emotional aspects to that? And allowing that, because a lot of our energy, our emotions are trapped in our body throughout the day. And we, especially when we have a chronic illness, you have a physical mobility issue, physical stuff can be difficult and stressful or painful or fearful, right? Because even if we know it's just our underlying inflammation, sometimes when we feel pain, we get nervous. When we feel pain, we think something's wrong, right? It's like our natural biological response. And so we want to also pay attention to what is consciously coming up for us and allowing those feelings and talking to ourselves in those moments like, I know what this is and I recognize it. And then over time, what we notice is that it actually feels good to move. It feels good to loosen. It feels good to release. And so these are all very conscious efforts revolve around mindfulness. And so I know we only have one more minute left. So I do want to talk briefly about sleep hygiene. So here are some tips for sleep hygiene. Okay, sleep and wake, but sleep and awaking at the same time. So having a schedule, having a routine. Okay, especially at night, limiting screen time, getting up with the AM and the PM, and then going to bed with the PM sun, or at least reducing your exposure to blue light. Okay. And those are like just some really easy, simple steps that you can try. So thank you, Candice. I appreciate it.
Oh, if people want to get a hold of you or your events, how can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, the easiest way is my website, www.lilypad Counseling and Wellness Center. I'm on Facebook and Instagram as well, but I'm not as super active. But so my website would be the best way. And there's some buttons that they can, request a consult, or they can just call me. I answer my phone.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for all your tips. Change begins with each one of us. And then when we change, then we change the way we act around our families, our friends, our work environment, and even we change the world. So changing ourselves, you positively impact the world. I did want to mention this Sunday is the prayer circle. It's the virtual prayer circle where we unite the world through love, praying for our local community, thanking them, praying for the world, and then again, really uniting ourselves, loving ourselves and loving the world together as one, raising the vibration within ourselves and within everyone. So hopefully you'll join me on that. I really want to thank everyone for your time this morning. Remember, change begins with us, each one of us. And Ivana, thank you so much. I definitely will post your website so everybody can see it. I hope everyone has a Tuesday full of mindfulness and self-love and self-compassion, not only for ourselves, but for others. Sending everyone just so much love and gratitude. I'm grateful for everyone.